Your protein powder. You, my friend, you're not a baby. You don't need a baby formula coming into your mouth hole. Yeah, bro, but it's important to have 28 grams of protein as soon as I finish my workout. Fuck that noise, brother.
What's up guys, Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be reacting to Exit Comfort Zone Mr. Miss Love Wellness Team. The fucking newest badass on the block, guys. He is, I don't know, a motivational speaker slash a fucking gladiator that has transcended space and time to come show us how to wield a fucking battalion in case we ever end up in the Roman Colosseums, apparently. And he does it in short shorts with mouth tape on, just in case that was not good enough. Doing these, you know, I feel like I'm watching like a tutorial of like fucking, I don't know, I'm like making a custom character on like Soul Calibur for PS2 like 10 fucking years ago or something. And it's like showing me what he's gonna look like before I put any kind of outfit or fucking like done anything for him. So anyways, besides, you know, that shit, which I guess is, you know, who's to say this isn't an effective training modality? I just thought it was kind of fucking interesting. Mace Bell, work compilation. Which one of the three movements do you love most? What protein powder do you use? So the reason why this is funny is because he has gone viral recently for saying that protein powder is totally fucking garbage and you should basically go fuck yourself if you use it. So without further ado, let's listen to the rant on protein powder, bro.
Fuck your protein powder. You, my friend, you're not a baby. You don't need a baby formula coming into your mouth hole. Yeah, bro, but it's important to have 28 grams of protein as soon as I finish my workout. Fuck that noise, brother.
Didn't just need to say fuck that noise. Fuck that noise, brother. Why not add a medieval mace to your arsenal and hold it while you're talking? I think we will take you a bit more seriously if you do that as well.
The fitness industry wants you to believe in this fucking illusion. They're using influencer with a 10% discount code who most likely are on another type of secret sauce in order for them to be that big.
Okay, so, you know, he's not fucking wrong. There are a lot of companies that sell protein powders that do use influencers to promote it. However, I don't really know that a lot of companies are saying their protein is the reason why maybe there are actually. Like, I don't know, a lot of companies do some pretty ridiculous shit. However, I think it's pretty well understood that protein is just food at the end of the day. It's not like anyone's saying, or at least I would hope nobody's saying, use this protein powder to get as jacked as me. Like, this is not fucking 1998, bro. This is not 2004. This is not a fucking Cell-Tech ad. There's a lot of people that understand that protein is useful for just having a fast digesting source of protein and or having something that tastes good and or something that is satiating and can be used for a variety of different purposes, like baking, fucking mixing in, you know, smoothies, you know, shit like that. I don't think, I'll let him continue after and then I'll give more feedback.
But you admire that shit. I suggest that you focus on eating proper food. Learn the caloric intake and the caloric value of the food that you consume. That is what's going to have you grow to become and perform at the peak level that you so desire.
Is he wrong? Should you not be focusing on micronutrient dense foods? Of course you should. This is something I preach all the time, and I always say, ultimately, if you could choose between a shake and a whole food, you would probably be better off with the whole food in the majority of circumstances. However, are there situations where a whey protein is useful in a post-workout time crunch, when you were trying to get something fast digesting in, when you were trying to bake something and you want to have it be high protein, if you want to make a smoothie, if you want to put something in your oatmeal so it doesn't taste bland as fucking shit. Like, there's a lot of and whilst concurrently inflating the fuck out of the protein content. Is it going to be the most micronutrient dense version of that protein? No. However, it does not mean that it's not high quality protein nonetheless. That's going to be very effective for stimulating muscle protein synthesis and encouraging recovery. So why the fuck would you not use it? If it's something, especially in like a diet, for example, something that can help you adhere to your deficit, perhaps because it's otherwise, satisfying your sweet tooth. Like, at the end of the day, despite the fact that having the most micronutrient dense versions of all foods would be ideal, it's not necessarily the most conducive in a time efficiency aspect or a satisfying your fucking, just palate aspect for a lot of individuals. So, this guy could claim he has, the most perfect diet, the most perfect everything. And ultimately, I have featured what I consider to be the most conducive diet to sports performance and micronutrient dense food options in my video description. I put that diet down there prominently, and I proudly promote it all the time because ultimately, and Stan Efferding is also a very big proponent of, he often makes jokes about, the comparing, bison and beef and shit to that, even chicken, let alone protein powders. He often makes jabs at that shit, but to the extent that this guy is, where he's basically saying you're a little bitch-made little baby if you use whey protein. Like, it's a bit over the top, dude. Like, there are definitely applications where it can be useful, and there's a reason why it's so enjoyed. And it's not that every single person who bought it has been tricked by some jacked guy who's on gear, who's lying and is a fake natty and is saying to buy the protein to look like him. Like, that's how fucking often are people buying protein for that reason? Because they saw a fucking Jay Cutler ad from like a fucking magazine. It's like, oh, to look like Mr. Olympia, I need whey protein. That's like fucking 1% of people buying whey protein at most. Realistically, it's like 0.0001% of people are buying whey protein because a fitness influencer who's jacked literally said, to get as jacked as me, you need whey protein. No, people just understand it's a high quality source of fucking protein that tastes good and it has multifaceted fucking applications. And they want to buy it, bro. Like, it's not that goddamn complicated. So I don't know why this guy had to make such a big deal out of it and make it seem like you're a fucking little bitch made goof if you buy whey protein. Perhaps he's just trying to go viral, and if that's the case, he definitely did. Now, some of the comments following that, though, were kind of interesting in the comment section. Like, very misleading. Protein powder is perfectly fine. Nutrients and macros. My protein powder 9 months later. Pregnant. Sorry, Johnny Sins. I'm gonna drink my protein shake. Pretty fucking funny. So expectedly, well, he says here, whey protein has been, there's a comment by Lorenzo saying whey protein has been shown to level up glutathione production within the body. A master antioxidant. What's wrong with whey protein? It's amazing. He says, oh dear, ... Instead of actually replying to him with a fucking logical conclusion, he just says, oh dear, ... As if that somehow disproves his entire statement. And I will get into the cysteine content of whey protein shortly to fucking dismantle this fucking butthurt guy about whey protein who swings fucking axes around on his TikTok. But anyways, first off, some of the reactions were pretty goddamn funny with, like Ziegler, for example, came up with this.
Fuck your protein powder.
And you can imagine a lot of different versions of this kind of a parody came up. Like this one was on the Hole Up subreddit. Next step.
Fuck your protein powder.
What's the next step?
That was my favorite one. That one went pretty fucking viral. It was in the More Plates More Dates subreddit. It has been popping off. But, obviously a lot of people aren't on the same page as this guy, even though we all get what he's saying. Like, we're not fucking idiots. And anyone who's buying a protein because they've been misled by like a misleading fake natty ad makes up for such a minority of individuals buying whey protein. It's kind of misleading to even post this as if that ever happened. So before we get into the cysteine content, there was one comment I thought was kind of ridiculous. He says, the baby says Noel enters the chat, as in like Noel Diesel, probably the biggest TikTok account in the fitness industry, probably the biggest, fastest growing channel in the fitness industry in general. Posts very, very educational and like user friendly, like newbie 101 content that's like Gen Pop appealing, very entertaining, high production value, and teaches people the basics of nutrition, diet, supplementation, training methodologies, etc. And is obviously like a generally well-respected individual for having high quality educational content. And then this guy comes in, never have any respect for any bodybuilder pushing BS into people's mouth holes. And Amen. What BS exactly? What you on about? Crying face. You are so average, LOL. What are you talking about? Isn't that exactly what you're doing? Swearing at people with provocative titles in order to sell yourself? And don't ever disrespect Daddy Noel. Noel Diesel. Don't diss Noel, Mr. Clean. So again, like, he's not wrong that like people are, you know, promoting products that hypothetically, if you ate a fucking like full serving of ground bison, would you get the higher quality nutrient yield than you would from whey protein in a broad spectrum, like B vitamin bioavailability aspect and all these different things? Absolutely. However, again, this boils down to all of the things I mentioned previously and him totally disregarding those and bringing up a completely ridiculous point about people being misled by fucking influencers to buy whey protein, which I don't think is a practice that really happens nowadays. When people are misleading people, they're talking about bullshit supplements that don't really move the needle and not being transparent about those supplements and saying, oh, you're gonna gain 5 to 10 pounds of muscle when you use this. Oh, this pre-workout is like the reason why, I don't know, like I'm in the fucking gym like cranking hard when in reality I use Adderall. Like, I don't know, like what's an example that is like totally misleading? Fuck, even turkesterone. That is something that I'm seeing like ridiculous fucking ads for now on the back of the hype train that has sort of been built out of my channel. It's kind of interesting because I'm the one who has from day one been so transparent about how you might get fucking nothing from it. There are individuals who get some great results objectively for what it is. However, there are individuals who get absolutely nothing from ectosteroids, but there are tons of companies that are hopping on the bandwagon, selling products they claim are complex, which are definitely just mixed in fucking vats and or don't even contain the proper actives to begin with, and then putting like my face on the fucking ads that they're putting out, tagging more plates, more dates, putting out bullshit, and then saying absolutely astronomically ridiculous claims about it, like you will gain steroid-like muscle without any side effects or this or that. Like, that's the kind of shit this guy, you know, it would make sense to be talking about and being like, this is totally misleading and completely ridiculous and totally fabricated and based on absolutely nothing. But he's talking about whey protein. Like, it's fucking food, bro, and it tastes good and it can be quite useful. Now let's get into the cysteine content, because this is something he seems to be totally, I don't know, does he think that this is a non-existent fact that the cysteine content is more dense in whey protein? It doesn't have no utility from a nutrient aspect, from a amino acid density aspect. Yes, it is one of the most bioavailable, fast digesting, most easily to spike mTOR phosphorylation fucking things that you could be ingesting, and it's quite useful for actually building muscle from an actual broad spectrum, like nutrient density, like full fucking totality of B vitamin aspect, stuff like that. Sure, it's going to be deficient compared to something like a beef. However, when you look at something like the cysteine content, here we have amino acid content of various dietary protein sources in human skeletal muscle, literally comparing fucking human muscle here. We have non-essential amino acid cysteine. Now we look at the grams per 100 grams of raw oat, lupin, wheat, hemp, soy, brown rice, pea, corn, potato, whey. We get over to whey and we have 800 milligrams per 100 grams of whey. So that is the highest density of cysteine among all of these different dietary protein sources. We have we have milk, literal milk. We have on the right-hand side here, fucking eggs at 400 milligrams relative to 800 milligrams of cysteine in whey. We have 0.1 in casein, 0.1 in caseinate. We have 0.2, as in 200 milligrams in milk. And then we have a variety of other cysteine content among these different food sources. Now you might be wondering, okay, well, how does this stack up to actual fucking beef and high quality red meat? Well, we can break it down too. Lean pork chops, the highest cysteine content of essentially any kind of meat. We have per 100 grams, 350 milligrams. So look at that. We're less than half of the cysteine content of fucking whey. We remember, when we go to whey, we go down to the cysteine content, we have 800 milligrams per 100 grams of whey. Now, getting to beef, probably what most people are going to be comparing this to, we have 345 milligrams per 100 grams. Lean chicken breast, 336. Tuna, 321. Lentils, 118. Now we're starting to get to, you know, the less relevant shit, but ultimately, when we look at this stuff, it is not hitting the same mark as whey. It's not as potent or dense in a cysteine aspect, which ultimately is a precursor to glutathione production, just as the individual in the TikTok mentioned, which is one of the main utilities of whey, is a cost-efficient way of backfilling cysteine content in the body. And even according to examine.com, which is the most well-respected outlet for unbiased nutritional / supplementation information, whey is the most cost-effective and efficient way to replenish cysteine stores. Now again, this can also be done with NAC supplementation. However, guess what's not fucking easily available anymore because of what it may or may not do in a immune support aspect when it comes to certain things. Well, NAC's not as easy to get anymore, and it's the fucking precursor to glutathione, and it is heavily utilized by a lot of individuals, but it's a lot fucking harder to come by now. And using a bit of whey protein could be a very easy way to backfill cysteine requirements. Now again, some of these benefits get washed out once you actually have an adequate amount of protein in your diet to begin with, because again, just because beef has less cysteine per 100 grams, it doesn't mean you couldn't just eat more of shit. Just like when you're a vegetarian, if you're lackluster in certain amino acids, it doesn't mean you can't achieve a sufficient amount of mTOR stimulation through actually just, strategizing your diet a bit more. And the same thing would go for a traditionally, like balanced diet model. If you're getting enough protein in as a guy who is, trying to train for hypertrophy or strength gain or whatever, you're probably going to get enough cysteine in through your red meat, through your whatever, through these nutrient dense sources as is to begin with. But again, not a lot of individuals are hitting their needs. Not a lot of individuals are eating a balanced diet model that is hitting protein requirements to be adequate to build muscle. A lot of individuals aren't getting enough cysteine to support immune system, among other things. So again, could this be useful if your protein intake is not, at the height of where it should be? Perhaps. Above and beyond that, it is a fucking potent source of protein and all of the things I mentioned previously. So ultimately, what this guy's saying is not, entirely wrong necessarily. I think we're all on the same page about the utility of whey protein versus, whole foods. However, it's just the way he's going about it in either trying to go viral aspect or he's very passionate about, what he believes to be misleading influencers. Like for him to put Noel on blast though, to me, I think he's going about this a little bit aggressively, a little bit too, I think he has a very, very clouded judgmental perspective on this shit that is ultimately misguided when he's putting individuals like Noel Diesel on blast, who otherwise is a very well-respected figure in the industry who, from what I can tell, is not disingenuous with his product recommendations, is not trying to mislead people when he talks about, pre-workout supplementation and what kind of ergogenic, fucking benefits you could actually expect from it and what to be realistic about it. When he talks about whey protein, how to utilize things in a, diet model, how to cook with it, how to fucking, make shit taste good or why you would be using it. He's never saying you're going to gain a whole bunch of muscle like me and become a fucking IFBB heavyweight bodybuilder. No, he's just saying this is a good use, source of protein. It's not that big of a deal. This guy's reading way too much into it, in my opinion. So I don't know. Is he just trying to go viral? I'm not really sure, but ultimately, I think he went a bit far with some of these aggressive claims against guys like Noel, and him basically saying that you're a fucking little baby ass bitch if you use whey protein instead of eat a steak, because that's basically what it sounds like. And it's very unsurprising that underneath his "Are you a little baby for having protein powder" video, 2 videos before that, he has a video raving about David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me.
Have ever read. Can't Hurt Me by... Let us begin this video series with reviewing one of the greatest books that I have ever read. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And if you...
So again, there's nothing wrong with David Goggins. He's fucking great. He's very motivational, but you can tell where this guy gets some of the inspiration between his hard-hitting, don't be a bitch. You better fucking do this, brother. You gotta be a fucking man, bro. You gotta eat the fucking steak. You gotta fucking do this if you want to be hardcore. If you have whey protein, you're a little fucking cunt-ass bitch. I don't know what David Goggins' stance as whey protein is, But ultimately, I think you can see where the inspiration for shit like fuck your feelings, are you a baby? What the fuck? Listen to me. Fuck motivation. Here's me fucking hitting you in the face with mouth tape on with a giant bat and then doing dips. I don't know. Like that, the hardcore mentality shit, this guy is definitely a David Goggins fan for sure. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Whey protein, are you just a little bitch if you have it? Should you be having a steak instead? Again, I would highly recommend, if it is like, something that's within your budget, if it's something that, you're fully capable of doing and, being totally satisfied with your diet model, that you do something like I mentioned in every fucking video, which is linked in the video description, the diet model I recommend, which is the most micronutrient dense way to facilitate getting in every macro with the most micronutrient dense portions of those macros, and making the most use of the substrate that is otherwise going to fuel physiologic functions and produce hormones and satellite functions in the body that is going to make the most bang for your buck for each calorie you ingest. However, doesn't fucking mean that whey protein is useless. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. All the comments help the algorithm. Much appreciated. Like, subscribe, check out my blog, moreplacemoredates.com. Follow me on Instagram at moreplacemoredates. Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, TikTok, Apple Podcasts. If you want to support the channel, you can check out anything I'm associated with in the video description below. And Gorilla Mind will indeed be carrying protein powder in the near future, so watch out for that. Anything else I'm associated with, the recommended diet model I've mentioned numerous fucking times in the video for the highest quality sources of nutrition to fuel your sports performance and muscle building endeavors. Linked in the video description, as well as anything else I'm associated with. It is all down there. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you soon.